Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus as we finally get to join back in with our ongoing adventures in the land of Chult and the lost city of Omu. Before we jump too far into things, a couple of quick shout outs. As you will notice on the screen, we are down one Solana this evening. She is still recovering from a severe case of throat leeches after her vacation and some swimming in some not so clean water. Failed another constitution check and is yet again unable to speak. So we wish you the best, Sarah, and hope to see you. And hope you're back with us next week. Um, and before you get too far into things, a couple of shout outs to some of our friends, sponsors, and whatnot. Big thank you to Streamlabs and OBS Studios for software that we use to stream our games every week. Team MZ, they're a great online support group through Twitter, and they have a Discord channel for small streamers like us. Many Sided Dice, The Lost Artifacts of Greygas, I mention almost every time I'm on here. Giving a few of those out to my party members. Some of them may have worked not so wonderfully, but hey, they make things interesting. And our most recent partnership with Dice Bard. If you enter exclamation point Dice Bard in the chat, it'll bring up a link to their site. And if you go over and check out their dice and other accessories, don't forget to use the promotion code PROBO, PROBO, to get free expedited shipping anywhere in the world. So definitely check them out for all your dice and D&D type needs. As it's been a little while since we've been together, we'll jump headfirst into last time as our party had continued southward towards the lost city of Omu after a rather tense situation with a group of Yanti that, due to some rather poorly timed verbiage from Solana, alerting them to the fact that, they were sort of hired to murder Raz Nasai. They showed up back in force to try to take out the party. The party barely managing to eke through it and captured one of them after the situation and some rather heart-to-heart conversations from Tuala and some of the others. They weren't really paying attention to their prisoner who managed to slip away, and not even a Vault caught sight of them, but the party continued on their path ever southwards and came into the the end of the jungle, standing over a massive cliff. Looking out and stretching in front of them was the lost city of Omu. Our party proceeded to hang around until evening, giving some gargoyles that seemed to be present around various points across the top of this cliff face, as far as they were able to see, through some quick thinking and some woodland friends summoned by Solana and Quen and Devaney sending a vault out. They managed to distract the gargoyles long enough to feather fall their way down to the ground, only to have one of the gargoyles still catch on to the party's trick and try to get down and chase after them. Party managed to hide for the evening, and upon awaking the next morning, found a strange sort of clearing with a large black obelisk in the middle of it. A door with a number of cube-shaped holes on it, and a long hallway with 8 figurines in them, each depicting a different animal, most of which the party has seen at some point in the jungle. As they've sort of poked around and looked, if I remember correctly, I believe it was Devaney who was taking a little bit of a closer look at that obelisk and got a very unsettling sensation from it and proceeded to flee back down the hallway with the 8 figures in it. And that is where we will pick up this evening, as it is still fairly early in the morning. And Tuala, as you've been looking around, and Quen, you're at the entranceway of this long sort of tunnel to the east. You can see Solana's down having a brief conversation with Devaney after Devaney fled, running what appeared to be in terror away from that obelisk.
I look at the obelisk and I go. And I go over and move up to the whimsical one, and I say, "What is going on? Why has Guardian run down this small alleyway?"
It's the pillar. There's something off about it.
It looks like a pillar to me.
I don't think we should touch it. No matter what happens, just leave it alone.
You can see Devaney sort of pacing in a small area. Now that she's out of sight of the obelisk, she seems a little bit calmer, but she's still a little bit flustered.
You can see Solana trying to, "Shh, it's okay, it's okay."
Guardian, is there anything down there that will help us get through the door into the temple?
Did
I'm
somebody?
not seeing anything new.
I remember somebody trying to light something on fire in here. I don't remember who it was or what they did.
Oh, yeah, I was. I tried to light some of these braziers down in here, but they're not catching. So either they're just different types of things, or I'm not doing the right thing.
Has anybody taken a closer look at like these statues? I mean, look behind them, dust them off.
I thoroughly looked at it. I wasn't able to get a lot from them. Just that they're different animals and that they each have braziers that are not lighting.
Well then, Tuala, I guess the answer's no. Solana, I'm okay now. I'm good. Thanks.
Are you sure, Divinity?
If these statues are not going to help us open the door, then we should look elsewhere.
We should.
As you're looking at them again, just where it's been a while since we've been here, going from left to right as you're walking down, or from west to east, you see Jakuli on the north looking across at a Sioux monster facing it on the south. The next two, you have an Almirage in the north staring down a Zorbo on the south. The third little section has an Iblis on the north and a strange, what looks to be an oversized amphibious creature, but with multiple tentacles growing out of it. This isn't something you guys have run into that you've seen as of yet. And then the last two you see are a Grung on the north and Kamadan on the south.
A Grung.
Yep, little frogman.
I want to look at the Grung.
Okay.
Because remember those frog people? Weren't they like I don't know. Didn't they have a deity or something?
Go ahead and make a religion check. So, from your brief time interacting with them before the fireball incident, you do remember that there was talk about a king trying to speak with a deity of some kind and bring them into this world. But as the party never met with the king, you guys didn't really get any further information other than they were trying to do something to bring this deity in there. And just let me double check my notes here. Um, and yeah, no, you never met with the king or anyone who had the information, any specific information on the deity,
Mhm.
but you do remember them specifically speaking about a grung deity.
Okay. Can I investigate this statue to see if there's any like names or like words written on it?
Sure. As you're looking at it, let me jump back over here. Okay. Let me back and forth. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So as you're looking at the statue, again, you see it stands about 3 feet tall. It seems to be embedded in like the entire piece. So the statue itself and the base it stands on is all one solid piece that is buried deep down into the ground. It's impossible to actually move it. Um, Again, when from when you guys looked at it last time, you do remember that there was an aura of divination magic on the statues, but there's no writing of any kind that you can see on it.
Hmm. Well, anyone else have any other ideas?
I think we should examine the door. There is nothing I find useful in this hallway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
it
look
just,
elsewhere. I
it just
agree.
seems like statues in here. Yeah. Is it is it safe to go outside?
I peek my head around the cave mouth and look at the obelisk. Is anything up with it?
Go ahead and make. Well, no, if you're looking around. If you're just looking at it, you don't see anything out of
Okay.
place at all.
Okay.
Devonay will slowly creep outside. Does she feel frightened still, or?
At this point, it's probably been long enough that the effect is starting to wear off. As you sort of poke your head around and start looking a little uncertainly, it's a big black piece of stone.
Right, she'll sort of walk cautiously outside and then go around it in a wide berth.
um, so this is a door here, right?
Yeah. So as you're looking down this short distance at this doorway, let me grab my notes on. Again, you see a massive slab of worked stone. As you're looking at it, the edges of it are marked by all manner of carvings of grinning skulls around the border. As you look in the middle of it, though, there are four lines engraved in the center of the slab, crossing one another to form a star. At each end of the line, so again, you're looking at, give me a second because I tried like heck to find an image of it and could not. So basically, what you're looking at, and forgive the freehand horrendous star, you're basically looking at something that looks like this, where it's a series of 4 lines crisscrossing to create a star pattern. At the end of each line, there is a small cube shaped recess in the door.
Okay.
A total of 8 cavities, north, south, east, west, and then the diagonals.
And how many statues are in the hallway?
8.
There we go. Okay. And there's recesses in the door that show that you could put something in there.
Yeah, a small 6-sided cube. Well, looking at it, it's literally an opening to slide a cube into.
Okay. Looks like we gotta look for some keys.
Have any of us come across anything in any of our travels that resembles anything like this? I ask to the people who have been on this adventure for longer than I have.
I don't remember seeing any kind of a star.
Yeah, we haven't come across any cubes of, I'm assuming, stone or some sort of gem material. No, nothing that would fit in here.
Yeah. Let's look around some more. Because this is... I don't know.
I doubt the cubes would be just lying around in this area. They're probably either out in the jungles of Chalt or hidden in the city somewhere.
Probably in the city, don't you think?
I don't know.
It seems possible.
So it looks like there's more path over here. I want to look over here.
Okay. So as you start heading over there, go ahead and make a perception check as you start sort of wandering over and looking in this section.
I want to bring Solana with me too.
Okay.
I don't think I have access to her token.
You should. You have access to her character sheet, but give me a second.
Oh, I actually don't have her character sheet either right now.
Wait a minute, then who? Oh, she had access to yours. Whoops. That's a backwards DM. Give me a second while I fix that. Gwen. Save. Okay, if you leave that screen then go back, you should have access to it now.
Gotcha, I have it. Okay. Thank you. Alright, yeah, so I want to bring Solana with me, and I guess, should we both do perception checks?
Sure, go ahead. Okay. So as you guys are looking around, you can see it's a lot of brush and overgrowth in the area. Again, much the same as what Tuwala was seeing when he was looking at it earlier this morning. It's nothing really jumping out and screaming that there's something there.
Can I just say, like, how wild those two rolls are? Like,
You know, exactly the same.
That's, like, messed up. I'm mad at that.
I don't remember if I did this or not, but if I did, I'm going to do it again because I don't remember. I'm going to cast Eldritch Sight. and then I'm just going to proceed to walk for the duration of the spell. I'm just going to walk like all around the area, like along the perimeter of like the wall, all around here and over here and by the big door.
You're gonna like feel
this-
on the wall.
And this Eldritch Sight, does that
Detect,
only do
detect magic.
magic?
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
detect magic.
Actually, let me check something on detect magic real quick. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay, so that's okay. So as you start again wandering the area around through the different areas, again when you get near the black stone in the middle, again you get a heavy sense of abjuration abjuration magic coming off of it. And again you get that same sort of sensation that Devonay was getting from it, that something isn't quite feeling right with you. I need you to go ahead and make a wisdom save for me.
My specialty. Yeah, buddy. Wait, hang on. There's a feature. I'm like immune to something now because of my Fey jabby. Maybe not. Don't worry about it. I rolled
You've
super
read
poorly and I don't know what the feature is.
advantage
So I'll be
on
afraid of it.
advantage on charms. Is that
Oh,
what
it's
it
still
would
it's
be?
a 5 and a 5.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So this happens as you're getting closer to it, as you're sort of passing up towards the northern door. So you basically got a choice now as you start to back away, and you are now afraid of this obelisk. You can either go north up towards the door, or east down towards the hallway.
Where am I standing right now?
So you said you wanted to head up towards this doorway, so I'm assuming you're somewhere on like the northern side of the obelisk.
Okay.
So basically, you've got the choice. You can go up north towards the door or east down towards the hallway. You just can't go closer to it at this point.
Sure.
So you've got a couple of different paths open to you, at least for the next minute.
Am I able to like do one of these guys and just like creep along the wall?
Yeah.
Because I definitely know that there's there's nowhere for me to run away from the obelisk.
Yeah.
And I make a gesture. I do this. This is the finger into Allah's tribe. Just guided.
As you're
Does this at the obelisk and he scoots over here.
and as you're looking up at the walls around this, you do notice that there are a number of gargoyles a ways up the cliff that you're standing near, that again are giving that same sort of glowing aura you ran into from the ones on top of the cliff before.
Okay.
And while you were over north before that, actually, is it? No, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, nothing jumping out from the main stone doorway, and you weren't close enough to get any of the information on the statues.
Okay.
So you're not picking up anything with that that's giving you any sort of magical feel other than the gargoyles, the little cliff, and the obelisk in the middle.
Well, as Devonay sees Tuala just sort of marching along, and then all of a sudden turn around and go back the other way. She's, oh, you too.
I do not like the stone pillar.
And as he says that, Devonay, you get that same flash of feeling like something was looking at you.
Yeah, I think we need to not be here right now. Just, go somewhere else.
Well, this temple is in Rosnasai City. Perhaps he knows something about it. Why don't we pay him a visit and beat the answers out of him?
I don't think that's a good idea. As
Oh,
he knows we want to, or at least he heard that we want to kill him, even though we not really do.
I might.
And, well, but, getting there might be a lot easier than returning back here.
Then I will follow your lead. I can think of no other
I think we
course of
should
action.
try to explore, and maybe there's some people in the city that would help us that don't know that we want to kill Rasmussen. It's worth a try.
So it sounds like you guys are heading back out into the city.
Well, I guess so.
Okay, Mr. Producer, if you are still living with us here, follow the bouncing flag back to Omu.
Don't know where we're going, but
Oh,
that's where we're headed.
see, hopefully our producer is with us. If not, forgive us, Twitch viewers, and we'll grab his attention in a second if he doesn't bounce along.
I moved on my screen.
Yeah, it's I can't drag him with us because he has GM access to produce. Okay, and of course, let's see here. Forgive me, Twitch viewers. I'm sending a quick message here. Select. Okay, so hopefully that means we will be bounced over. Now watch, I'm going to go back to Twitch. You will have already moved it. So, of course, I sent him the text and he's already taking care of the things for us. Thank you, Mr. Producer. You are quicker than I am. As you guys start to slowly make your way back south from the black obelisk in the doorway, you guys have, again, the city open to you. You've got the ruined building that you spent last night in. Got a couple of streets out there, and as you go ahead, all of you, and make a perception check for me. Okay. So actually,
He's bringing the Tuala dice tonight, boys and girls.
Okay.
Quinn, who is the first roll for? Is that you or is that Solana?
I'm the modifier of 3, Solana's the modifier of 7.
Okay, so it's actually Quen and Solana who first notice this. As you guys are starting to walk away, the sun's a little higher in the sky now, and you notice that the building you had been staying in, you can see large claw marks raked into the stone. Doesn't give any real feeling of being fresh. You think it's just something you missed it rushing into the building last night. But you notice that there seem to be multiple just spots on this building where claws have been raked through it. They seem to be rather large.
Yikes. Let's not go back in there.
Maybe they did follow us after all.
Yeah. We should go elsewhere. So is this thing there, is that like a raised street? Because there's like stairs.
Yes, yep, and it's not all that high. It's only about 4 or 5 feet up. So it's not all that hard for you guys if you wanted to just sort of like climb up and get onto the street from where you are. But again, it's one of those where as you're looking around, there really isn't anywhere to hide if you're walking down that thing. You're parading down Main Street with neon flags and
up in the air.
But everybody in the area is going to see you if they're looking.
I will wear a sign that says "Come to me" so that I may kill you.
Really? Okay,
Um,
let's not go on the main road.
We saw like a weird kobold with a bunch of cages on him or something, right?
I think
Yep.
Solana saw that during her
Where
watch.
did he
Somebody
go?
saw that during
And
their watch.
weren't we gonna go follow him, or is that what we were doing when we found the tomb?
So you guys had landed down after your little parachuting adventure down over here. Hunkered down, and as things happened, you guys came out and basically had a choice of which way to split. As you were charging over to find a way to make camp over in this building that you're in now, or well, we're in then, that is under you on the map. As you were crossing this raised street, you saw a group of kobolds being led by this one with the different cages and things on it. Further down south along that main road, crossing over into the east.
They were going east.
Yes, they were crossing across down in this area, heading over, ballpark somewhere in this area. You really don't know where they were heading, as you guys were, for lack of a better term, I'll call it in flight mode at that point.
Okay. So I say we go south a little bit.
Well,
then,
while we're in this area of the city, like, because I can see the cliffs around, they're pretty close in this. We could just check out this corner to say we checked it out, make sure we're not missing anything.
Which corner?
The corner we're closest to, the northwest
corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Like up until like this other like raised street?
Yeah, and there looks like there might be something past that. It looks pretty empty, but I want to make sure while we're up here, and maybe we could go south.
Okay. Let's do that. Also, looks like there's a cool amphitheater over there too.
Oh, you must be taller than I am. I can't quite see that far.
I'm standing on Tuala's shoulders.
Okay, so how are you guys moving? Are you moving full speed? Are you trying to be stealthy? What's your approach to moving through the city?
Definitely would like to move stealthy, and when we get to that raised road, she would like to try to go around it and not over it if possible, if nobody else protests.
Okay.
And I'll have Solana cast a Pass Without Trace on us while we go over there.
Okay.
Ooh, wow. That's like the highest stealth roll I've ever made.
Okay. So definitely will be back on Wednesday. You can see her with JJ now. As you guys start making your way in between the different different little alleys and nooks in between the buildings. This sort of dodges you again. You're passing through, and as you're looking at these buildings, you can see the buildings around you are in various states of disrepair and ruin. Some of them have doors still loosely hanging on them. Some the doors are just missing and collapsed in. As you fully make your way over, it takes you a good little while, as a lot of these areas that you're having to go through in order to maintain and be quiet and keep out of the path of things are either heavily overgrown or tight spaces between buildings. It takes you the better part of like a half an hour or so to get over to right in this area. Oh, come on, why are you not clicking for me? Right over next to this raised walkway. So it's, again, Devonay's trying to sort of lead people north and around it. Is everyone just following along?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely just following along while we're heading that direction.
Okay. And so as you are making your way, go ahead, all of you, as you come up to this, towards this raised road, go ahead, all of you, make another perception check.
That's more like it. Oh.
That's more like it, Koala.
Devaney, you are actually the only one who notices this at first. As you come up to this raised street, you can see there's a small pool of water. And as you're watching, you see slight ripples start to spread from the center of the pool. As a little ways off in the distance, you start to hear rapidly moving, heavy footfall.
Can I see what it is? If I look
No,
to where? No?
you don't see anything. You can hear it rather loudly, but you don't see anything. Then after a couple of moments, it just fades and disappears off into the distance somewhere.
Well, that's disturbing. Guys, we need to go. Let's keep
After-
moving.
Best you can tell, it's coming
What?
from somewhere a little south from where you were. But given the size of the buildings and where you're down, you really couldn't see anything.
Okay.
We're already going. What do you mean, Guardian?
Keep moving. There was something very large. I don't know what it was. I couldn't see it. I don't know if it was just invisible or just blocked by all these houses and things, but large enough to cause ripples in that there pool of water.
Yeah.
We need to be careful.
Would Quen know relatively like how big something would have to be to have an effect like that? Because he's so
Given
small.
that all of you have traveled, you have all seen lizards that are easily large enough to cause an effect like that.
Oh, cool. All right, let's go kill Godzilla, and then continue with whatever else we were doing before this. Good.
So yeah, you
Divinay's looking at
know
treading
there are
around the
quite
road.
a number of dinosaurs that, depending on how far away it was, could
Uh-huh.
easily make that ripple.
All right, so we should head away from that sound then. Right, not towards it.
I think it was south. I'm really not sure exactly how close it was to us, but it was close enough.
One direction is as good as another. We are wandering blind in the city. Let us continue
Right.
with our original plan. If we
Let's
run into
go north.
trouble, we will kill
North.
it or we will avoid it.
That's the plan, Tuala.
Okay. So, are we heading southward at the crossing where we saw those kobolds go?
No,
Are we trying to get over here?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to go around the road and check out those buildings, and then
So right
maybe
now
So
you
do we
guys
want to go like
make
up,
your way
like
through.
yeah, and around?
yeah.
And you guys are sort of over in this area at the moment, following
To be like,
Okay, so as you guys are starting to loop around that top section, again, you start to hear a buzzing noise.
what is
As-
happening?
Okay, let's see where this is. So as you're sort of crossing over and passing through that northern side and starting to turn around, you all see a group of 4, and I'm going to throw an image on the screen here and blow it up so our viewers
Check.
can see it. You see 4 very large winged insects
Ew.
starting to fly down from the roof of this large building down towards you.
Don't mind me. My dynamic lighting just makes it so that I have to put myself on the thing so I can see it.
Oh, do I still have dynamic lighting turned on the bloody map?
I don't have it.
I don't have it either.
I don't have dark vision, which is why it might be turned on for me.
Oh,
The
okay, hold on.
the little temple area we were over there too is like a mess for me. I kept having to move my character token around.
Yeah, the
That
temple
better?
area was dark vision, but I mean, yeah.
That better, Tuala?
Nope, but that's fine because I've seen it now and I can see it on
Okay.
the chat. And I
okay,
also
we'll fix that afterwards.
didn't see something on the Twitch chat that sounds horrible.
Oh, you saw nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, with that, I need you to all go ahead and roll initiative for me. As you have these 4 massive wasps swarming down above you. And we are going to switch this up to you. And holy wow, Solana. And we are just going to have the 4 of them go together because, why not? Okay, I'm beginning to wish I hadn't said that. That's a really lousy roll. Okay. So as these creatures start dive bombing down towards you guys, at this point, there's 2 of them that are right down at ground level within melee of any of you. The other 2 are about 15 feet in the air above. And that brings us to Solana at the top of the order.
Okay, so Solana's gonna turn. I think I want her to wild shape into a bear. Does she do that? Does she wild shape into a bear?
Typically, if she wild shapes into something bigger, like
No, she only wild shapes into a giant ape. That's the only thing she knows how to do. It's canon.
Would
yeah.
Solana wild shape into a giant ape just to squash bugs?
There is nothing Solana
Probably.
wouldn't transform into a giant ape to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might be a little overkill in this case.
So it's like, no, we're trying to stealth. She's like, what, giant ape?
The last couple of times she's tried to save the giant ape, as it's caused a little bit of a headache with Tuala.
Alright,
But again, it's
I'm gonna cast Produce Flame then and aim at one of them.
okay. You going for one of the 2 on the ground or one of the ones behind?
The one behind.
Okay, that'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Ha 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 ha.
Alright, so as Solana hauls off and chucks a rather small mote of flame up at one of the 2 in the back. It does connect, and you can watch as a little bit of flame licks across the body, but not a whole lot done to it at all. And is there anything else that she'd be doing?
No. So I noticed that Solana doesn't have her spells set up right, because Produce Flame is supposed to roll 2d8s at this level, and it only rolled 1.
Oh, okay, so go ahead and roll another d8. Yeah, not bad, a little better.
I was like, wait a second.
Oh, okay, so it is still, well, quote unquote standing, but it is still on its feet.
Okay.
Okay, and that'll bring us over to Tuala. So, Tuala, you've got 2 of them that are a little out of range up in the air, and there are 2 that are on the ground right in front of you.
Oh, are they out of range up in the air?
They're about 15 feet. So you can
Are they out of range up in the air?
Depends on what you're going to do.
I am going to use Lightning Lore on one of the ones that are about 15 feet away.
Okay.
So it's got to beat me in a strength check.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Tuala dice. Oh, no! Yes!
Stop it.
Oh, the DM nat 20s and still loses.
Come at me, B.
Okay, so are you pulling the one that
The one that was up in the air.
they had two, so there's one that just got hit with a ball of flame, and then there's the other one.
The other one.
Okay.
So he's
yeah,
pulled 10 feet towards me.
So he is within the 5 feet of you, so
He
will
will.
definitely take,
He'll take 1d8 lightning damage, and then I'm gonna glaive him
actually-
because he moved into my range.
Oh, okay, because this is from a different. What level are you?
What?
What level are you in this class?
2 or 3?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 2d8 at 5th. That's what I was asking.
No, I'm not. I'm not. My bulk of my points are in barbarian.
Okay. Okay.
So
Go ahead and roll a d8 for me then.
he'll take 4 lightning damage,
Bad.
and then I will make a glaive attack against him because he moved into my threat range.
This is just going to be ugly.
Oh no, my glaive went off my character sheet. Good. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Glaive attack, 18.
Okay. I don't know why. Oh, there it goes. That'll definitely hit. So go ahead and roll some damage for me.
14 additional damage from the glaive.
That was another glaive attack.
What?
That
Oh
was an attack you rolled.
no, he does 14 damage. What are you talking about? All right, fine. He does 5. Whatever.
Okay, so it is definitely looking beaten up, but it is still on its feet. Okay, so Devonay, currently you have 2 that are on the ground in front of you, and one that is got little bits of lightning sort of flicking off it, and now has a glaive slash through the middle of it. That is in front of Tuala.
So they're all within melee range. They're not flying up in the air.
All except for one. There's still one that's off in the distance, but the other 3 are all on the ground.
Okay, I would like to magic missile the one flying. Actually, no, that's a bad idea. I'm going to attack one of the ones on the ground. Not Tuala's because I don't steal kills, but one of the other ones.
Okay.
I'll fight you.
So go ahead and start making your attacks. Number 1 will hit. Okay. Go ahead and roll your second. Number 2 will hit. It is still on its feet, albeit barely. You can see if you slash it. Oh.
Overkill, I think.
No, just because, how do you want to slay this thing? Because it had 1 left.
I mean,
Extreme
I guess
prejudice.
this is like cutting through it like butters. All 3 attack. No, if I've gotten that ever, if not for a very long time. It's like, oh, it's dead already. I was having a good time here.
And as you all watch, as Devonay is just 1 sword, 2 comes back through, and you just watch as the body collapses and the wings just slowly drift to the ground.
Oh, piss off, B!
Wow. Quinn is blushing at how buff Devonay is.
That will bring us to the 3 wasps' turn. One of them that is directly in front of Tuala is going to make an attack against him.
Do it.
And that is a 15.
Yes, I know my armor class. You said I didn't. Nope, doesn't it?
Okay. The next one is going to fly down and try to attack Solana for lighting it on fire. And that is a 7 against Solana. That is not good. The third one, let's see here. Just going to roll down a list because it does not. No one's bugged this one yet.
Ah!
And that one is going after Solana as well.
He said no one's bugged this one and nobody laughed at it, and I'm kind of disappointed.
And that is a 21 to hit Solana, so that one I know is going to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So Solana takes 3 points of piercing damage. And I need, Quinn, if you can roll a Constitution saving throw. Oh, so Solana also takes 10 points of poison damage.
Whoa.
Okay, and that will end their turn and bring us over to Quen.
Okay, so Quen's gonna peel for Solana right now, because that's bad. And then he's gonna do his Quen bookmark special. No, wait, not with that one. Well, I guess I'll just do that one anyways. So, Booming Blade, like Green Flame Blade.
Okay. And you're going after the one that just hit Solana?
Yeah, the one that just hit her.
Oh, okay, so that'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Okay. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna stab it with bookmark.
What you actually don't get a chance to is that one
Oh.
strike is
Mhm.
enough to destroy that one.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna then just like do like a cool move and like turn around and then stab the other one that's next to Solana.
Which this will hit as well. So go ahead and roll your damage. Okay. And that one as well collapses as you watch as Quen drives the dagger into one and then comes back across and slashes the other one down, and 2 more have fallen to the ground.
Ha! Take that.
And that will bring us back over to Solana.
So there's one more left.
There's one more left that is currently in Tuala's face.
In Tuala's face. Okay. Solana has no qualms about stealing kills.
None whatsoever, apparently.
Yeah.
Giant ape.
So that's so extra. I don't know. Solana has a thing on her character sheet that says the Lash of the Jungle Walker. What is that?
So that is a whip that was
Is that what we made out of the
yeah, that's what the
guy?
Urvastek provided to you.
Oh, cool.
Uluthalong. There we go. I remembered its name.
She has not attuned to it as of yet. She's just carrying. So she can attack with it, but she doesn't get the additional plus to it. It's just a D20 plus her, I believe it's a strength mod, if I remember correctly.
Oh. Okay. So then she's gonna fire at it with the bow of ensnaring, but not use its property.
Okay, so that'll hit. Go ahead and roll some damage. Okay, and that is enough. How does Solana do it?
I think Solana just like watches me like dance around here, like stabbing things in the air, and then she like takes that as her cue and she like pulls it back real cool and like fires it and like kills the one right in front of Tuala. She like has her like tongue sticking out. She like fires it.
So, Tuala, as you are watching and dealing with this creature, all of a sudden you watch as an arrow comes sticking through the back of it. And you can see the tip of the arrow pointing out straight towards you as the giant wasp then just falls to the ground in front of you. And once more, standing there, bow in hand, facing towards you is Solana.
Probably with a silly grin.
Solana says something like, "That's 4 to 3."
You know how sometimes, like, when you squish a bug, it, like, twitches a little bit?
Yep.
So, as that, like, bee on the ground twitches next to him, he's just gonna take his glaive and go, like, that one wasn't dead. And then I would like to search for honey.
Okay, go ahead and make a investigation check.
I just remembered wasps don't make honey.
I was going to go there after the fact, but Dwal, you spend a few minutes looking around, and eventually, as Devaney and the others look to be a little impatient, you start to recall that I don't think they do that.
To cover up that he is embarrassed about searching for honey on wasps, I would like to try to yank a stinger off of one of them.
Easy enough to do.
I will use this later.
Yeah, so as you guys start to continue around the northern section of the end of the road and turn back, you've got a group of 8 or 9 buildings to your right as you start to head south, and again as it starts to open up, you can see off to the west a little ways a rather large ruined amphitheater looming high above the surrounding buildings. Vines and various different plants and foliage clinging to the steps, and different statues of animals line various points in the stands above. As you start moving a little bit closer towards it, you start to notice as the closer you get to it, the quieter the sounds of the jungle that even in the city you had been hearing get. Eventually, in very unsettling silence, as you notice there are no birds singing, no bugs buzzing, it's just silence.
What is this place? It's weird.
Solana will make a survival check to see if that big thing we heard earlier might be around here. So look for like discarded food or poop or whatever survival does.
Yeah, go ahead and make a survival check. And Devaney, do me a favor, go ahead and roll a d20. Okay. Good to know. So as Solana is starting to poke around, as you guys are getting a little closer into this amphitheater, Solana immediately notices massive clawed footprints caked deep into the muddy ground. After taking a couple of minutes to sort of look at them and say over, she's pretty sure the same claw prints that she's seeing in the mud around here are the same ones that left some of the claw marks on those buildings you were looking at earlier.
Well, guys, these are really big and scary looking.
Each footprint is over 5 feet across.
I'll go over to wherever Solana is. They're probably all over here now.
Yeah, as you guys are at this point are all over as you're getting closer in this area.
Solana, do you know what this is?
While they're doing that, I want to start searching around this amphitheater for anything of interest. I don't know if we need to essentially if we need to book it out of here. He wants to get a look around before that happens.
Sure,
So
go ahead
do
and
this
make
as
a
they're
perception
discovering.
check.
Perception, investigation. There's perception.
Okay. So as you start looking around,
can I do that with Eldritch Sight on as well?
Sure. So as you're starting to look around, Devaney, as you've come up and are talking to Solana about this, The footprint does look to be somewhat familiar to Solana. She recognizes it as having that same three-toed structure as a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Ooh. T-Rex footprints.
As Antwala, as you are looking around with your Eldritch sight, almost immediately as you start to look around, as everyone else is focused on these massive footprints, you see long, slender feathers, bright scarlet, orange, and green hues at various different points throughout this end. They fell off of some sort of feathered creature, as well as massive heaping piles of dung, tall enough that a halfling or a dwarf would be completely buried.
Oh gosh.
As you're looking around, you don't see any, you're not getting any magical sense or anything giving off any sort of magic.
So is this this amphitheater thing? Is it like a solid piece of rock?
Yeah. So as you're,
doesn't look like there's like an interior to it or anything like that.
no. So basically, as you're walking up to it, it is a semicircular. Basically, bleachers would be the best way I can put it in modern terminology. It's an open air semicircular structure with just rows of seats upon seats, all overlooking a small ruined stage near on the ground where you all are in this midsection. As you're looking through, there are a couple of smaller, looks like entranceways within the base that could lead inside to some manner of structure.
Okay, I'll jog back over to the others then. As I was I like close enough that I heard like Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Yeah, it's not a huge area that you're dealing with it here. So unless Solana was trying to be deliberately quiet, which let's face it, she almost never is, you probably heard it.
Okay, so I'll jog back over to the party, and if there is indeed a Tyrannosaurus and you wish to remain a low profile, it seems best not to be here when it returns. There appears to be an interior to this amphitheater. I would like to search it quickly if possible, and then move on so that we can cross this off our list.
Mhm.
All right. I'll go with you. I can leave Alvelta outside to let me know if we don't get too far away. Hopefully he'll. I'll look at Alvelta do a better job scouting than last time.
Okay, so what's the plan? You guys are heading inside?
Yep.
Okay, Quen and Solana, what would the two of you be doing?
Quinn would be all for like staking out the place and seeing what's around, just in case that thing comes back.
Okay. So are you planning on going like to the top of the amphitheater to look out, or are you staying where you are?
How far up to the top am I?
If you were to go up all the stairs, it probably a good 150, 200 feet. Mind you, because it's going up at an angle. I mean, in terms of straight distance vertically, it's probably only about 40, 50 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
But given that you're going back at that angle, it's a decent ways up from the ground. The small ruin stages.
Okay. And we're like in the middle of the crescent of the amphitheater right now.
And within, give or take a couple of feet, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can go walking further away, but as you and Solana are standing there, you watch as Devaney and Twala are heading in there to poke around and look, see what's
Okay.
within.
Okay. I want to be just outside of the cave.
Okay,
Wherever
so
it is they're
right
going.
outside of the doorway that they're going into?
Yeah, just right outside.
Okay. And then we're assuming Solana's staying out with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Um,
as...
Volta will be just around them. She's not going to be flying around, just like on their shoulders or on a step nearby.
okay.
Maybe a Baltic could be at the top of the amphitheater.
What was that, Quan?
Oh,
You hear your voice
uh,
from inside.
I try and catch the echo a little better. Maybe Evalta could stand on the top of the amphitheater.
I'd rather not draw too much attention from going up high. Somebody might notice.
Good idea. And Quen returns to staking out the outside of the cave.
Okay. So do me a favor. You know what? We had you roll last from Devaney, so Twala, do me a favor and roll a D100 for me. Okay. So as you start to wander through this interior of the amphitheater, you're falling down the hallway, and it goes down for about 10, 15 feet, proceeds to turn to the right, then about another 20 or 30 feet down, you start to hear scratching noises. Seem to be coming from a doorway about 20 feet down on the right-hand side.
We still pass without a Tracy.
At this point, how long does that
An hour, I
Is it an
thought?
It
hour?
lasts an hour.
But we have to be close by Solana for that to work.
Do we?
60 feet.
Yeah, so it's realistically at this point, you're probably still within range. You're not sure, as you guys have been walking for a couple of moments. You're not quite sure how much further you've got, though. But if you want, you can definitely try to stealth if you want to go up and see what's in there.
I will return to Guardian, nod, gesture down the hallway, and I will quietly attempt to move forward.
I'll follow.
Okay, then give me some stealth checks if you would. Ooh, very nice, Twala.
Well.
Okay. So
Maybe we're still passing without a trace. It might be
That's
okay.
why you're going first.
So as you start to slowly move up forward towards this door on the right, takes you a couple of moments as you're moving quietly, and as you sort of turn and crane your head to peek in, you see a group of 5 small Dionyscus within this somewhat ruined room. And as you're watching, they're just sort of clawing and digging around at different things. It looks like you may have stumbled upon a nest of the small creatures.
Is it? What is it? What's a is a Deinonychus like Velociraptor-y?
Yeah, let me
I feel like
Yeah, I do
if
believe
Twala
I've
would
seen
know
them
that.
before.
so I can. Yeah, you've definitely seen them, but we'll drag one on.
Oh wait,
I
is this the same thing where I tackled one and put a collar on it?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
So this is what you see: a group of 5 of them.
Okay.
Keep forgetting that.
Do I see anything in that like room that looks worth tangling with these things about?
including my my Eldritch Sight.
Nothing jumping out at you as you're looking into it. Actually, oh wait, hold on, I lied. Okay, so yes, actually, you probably do.
Heyo.
As you are looking in there, let me see what your elf eyes see.
30 foot of magic vision.
Basically. Let's see, where? So of course you're not in this book.
I see them with my special eyes. My brand! Contact commercial. It's might be local to me, and thus
No, not at all.
not a joke that may test anybody else.
Look with your special eyes.
My brand!
Okay. So what you see glowing in the distance appears to be some sort of a helm.
Oh, dibs.
And as you're looking at it, it is giving off a very strong sense of divination magic.
Okay. Like these dudes got it. These chicken dinos got it.
It's in the room behind them. It looks like it's something that was potentially just sitting in this room after the people left or passed.
Okay.
And these little critters moved in on top of it. Given that
Uh,
they're small bipedal dinosaurs, you doubt they have any clue what it is, but it's shiny and it goes on your head.
How big is the room?
It's
Like-
not an overly large room. It's probably about maybe 20 by 20.
Okay.
So I'm going to.
Yes, it is possible for you to do what you're thinking.
Just
I'm
wondering.
gonna turn to Devaney, without giving no words or anything like that. He's just gonna look to her, and he's gonna like gesture in the room, and he's gonna nod, and then he's gonna make this gesture, so that we don't spoil a surprise round before we light these dudes up.
She nods back at you with a grin, and takes from her belt a stick that sort of orangey. I'm not sure what it looks like. You've seen her use it before for fireballs.
I'll throw a witch bolt in with whatever she's about to do.
Okay.
Y'all are gonna get us in trouble.
So as
Fireballs, they always get us in trouble.
Yes, they do. That's what
Turn
they
a corner.
do.
Tuala is now
So,
a slap happy barbarian.
so as you guys are doing this, and as you're looking at this small wand that Devaney has pulled out, it's very light in color, almost like a golden orange colored wood. And as she's got it in her hand and starting to move it and get ready, you can see that the tip of it is starting to almost burn. Get a hint of that. So I'm going to say, as this is a surprise round, go ahead, Tuala, make your roll first, because Devaney's are just going to be a whole bunch of saving throws. Then once we get that. Okay, and that is definitely going to hit. So go ahead and roll your damage on, we'll call him a D1.
I don't know. We don't need to
Okay.
call him anything. I don't think we should get too attached.
Well, all depends on how he's going to respond to what happens next. Devaney, so as you watch, as Tuala lashes out and you watch this bolt of energy fly out from his hand and strike this creature, as you lean over and loose, what are you doing?
I would like to let loose a fireball. If the room is 20 by 20 or so, I would like to put it in the middle so it reaches, but not hit us, ideally.
Okay, and are we pumping this, or is it just a single shot?
Just a plain level 3
Okay. Go ahead
fireball.
and roll that damage for me as I start making.
And the DC is 15. I should
Yep.
fix that, and I haven't yet.
Okay, so these are going to be very important. Okay, fails. Saves. Okay, so give me a second. I am just marking this down so I don't. Fails. Saves. And fails. So as you fire this off, and Quen, you recognize this sound almost immediately. As from within the amphitheater, you and Solana hear an echoing boom as this fireball goes off. Devaney, you and Tuala watch as the one that Tuala has just witch bolted, as well as 2 others, are immediately just turned to ash as a result of this fireball.
I go,
And
"We're fine."
as you say that, 2 heads turn and look at the 2 of you. And with
I like-
that,
I like that it was my talking that got their attention and not the fireball.
I need everyone to go ahead and roll initiative. Quen, go ahead and just roll for you. As given the state of these 2, I don't even think that there's going to be enough time for you guys to get in there before these things are no longer around. But
What? Over 10?
yeah,
I get
that's
advantage on that, but I'm not gonna roll it again. Do better than that.
I'm not even going to switch the music because you guys are all going before these things are. Okay, Tuala, you've got it. 2 of them left in the room, both of them charred, flames starting to lick up the body. They are not looking to be in great shape.
All right, I'm gonna move in to get within range of them, and I am going to make a glaive attack on whichever one I get to
Okay.
first.
So,
Well,
let's see here.
that's I rolled the cantrip version of that, so the damage is gonna be wrong.
No worries, but yeah, the hit still matches. So
Do that one. That's the actual damage.
okay, so it is still on
plus plus an additional 4 lightning damage from the glaive.
Okay, it looks a whole lot worse than it was going to, but it is still breathing.
All right, I will make a second glaive attack against the other one that I
Okay.
didn't just hit. Assuming it's in my reach as well.
Yep. Yeah, they're both
Okay.
fairly close. So
17 to
okay.
hit.
So that will hit as well.
Okay, 11 slashing.
And the second one collapses.
All right,
a-
and
one slash, and that one falls to its death. And you still, that first one you carved into a moment ago,
bonus
mighty
action
beat up.
glaive halved. I don't know if an 8 is gonna hit.
that will not. So as you
Alright.
swing back with the haft, it just manages to dodge out of the way. That'll bring us to Quen. Now, Quen, you heard the fireball go off, and then a couple of seconds later, you heard Tuala's voice echo down the hallway. We're fine. What would you and Solana be doing?
Well, Quen would have just heard that sound and immediately know what was going on, and he doesn't even blink. He's just like, I'm gonna be out of the job, and then just turns and runs into the cave and starts swinging at whatever ugly thing is in there.
Okay, so it will take you 1 round to even get down. They went down. So as you get down to the end of the hallway and turn, you can see Devaney in the distance.
Hmm.
You don't see Tuala, though.
Do I see any uglies?
Nope, they're in the room with Tuala off to the right, which is beyond your sight at this point.
Okay. Alright. Then I guess Solana would do the same thing.
Okay, so we've got the two of you starting to charge in, and that'll bring us to Devonay as you're watching in and you see Tuala run in and just wailing on both of these things, and you can hear footsteps coming down the far end of the hallway.
Devonay is not even going to look behind her because she figures it's one of her friends and is going to go after the whatever's left.
Okay, there is one creature left next to Tuala that you watch as it just sort of moves out of the way of the back end of his glaive, but it is jaw sort of hanging a little loose. It's in some rough shape.
Yeah, so she's going to go in and kill it. Even he's having too much fun. She wants some fun. So
Okay, so go ahead and start swinging at it.
Swords. Ooh.
As you come charging in and take a swipe at it, it moves and you pretty close to taking off a small chunk of Tuala with that one.
Sorry, man.
It is
A little
fine.
overexcited.
I have many chunks to spare.
Hey, so that'll definitely hit. And how do you want to do this?
Well, recovering quickly, she takes another swipe with her other sword, her lucky lucky adamantine sword, and manages to finish the dinosaur off. And then sort of goes back, like steps back a little bit. Oh, sorry, Tuala, I guess that was yours, but you were having too much fun. Now, what was it that you saw down here?
I begin sifting through burnt up dinosaurs to try and find the helm that I saw.
So as you start poking around, go ahead and make an investigation check. And see what else you may or may not find it.
I would like to assist.
Okay.
Well,
So-
thank God you
that didn't-
assisted.
I don't know if that did it, but
I can't even find the item I already knew was here.
So it's you managed to find two items in here. One of them looks to be a mask made of painted, looks to be gold. And then the other one, which is still glowing with a bright beacon in front of you, is, and let me back over to my image of it here so I can describe exactly what you're looking at. You see it looks to be, it's a helm with, comes down over the front of the face with two eyepieces on the front of it. Looks to be almost like a image of a brain embossed on the actual top of the helm. Brass faceplate comes up to a point reaching up towards the back. Again, it is shining bright with a aura of divination magic to it.
I look at the priceless artifact gold mask and I go, and I carelessly chuck it at Guardian. And then I look at the helmet and I put it on my head to see if it fits.
It definitely fits, and for those at home, we'll see if I can do this without. Oh wait, this is what. Oh, that is stupid because I cannot see. This is what Tuala has just put onto his head.
I say, Guardian, does this make me look frightening?
When comes
I look
into the
at you
room.
and I sort of be like, I'm not sure if it's frightening, stupid.
And as that comes out of Devonay's mouth, Quen, you and Solana are now turning the corner and walking in.
Yeah, Quen
they
like
come in,
turns
I
the
look at him and I go,
corner.
Ah!
Quen is like frightened. He's like, what's that ugly helmet?
See, it worked, Guardian. I shall wear it and strike fear into the hearts of our foes.
Or at least fits of laughter, so they will be helpless on the floor.
Either way, they will find themselves equally dead.
Oh,
Did I manage to catch the thing he threw at me?
Easy enough. It was just sort of
throw
a
it very
flip.
hard.
Yeah. It just sort of
Hey,
flipped it to
here.
you, so.
What does it look like? It's a golden
So
mask with feathers.
It's a golden mask that has been painted. You're really not sure what it signifies. You just know that it's a decently heavy gold mask with some paint on it.
Could I make a history check? Or a
Sure. I'm sure it's going to be difficult, though, as this is not the...
Well, I'll give it a try.
You can certainly try.
Is it similar? I kind of assumed it was similar to the one that we found before.
It
Like a religious icon type of deal.
It has that sort of a feel to it. But Devaney, even with that check, while you're sort of going along the same idea as Tuala, is that there's probably some sort of religious or spiritual cultural significance to it. Nothing's jumping out at you as a specific deity or anything like that.
Would I have any reason to think it was magical?
No, nothing about it's jumping out as magical.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put it in my bag. Just, it's gold if nothing else. Tuala, is that what you wanted to kill the dinosaurs for?
Indeed, I am able to see things imbued with magics. This is such an item I thought it worth entering for. Perhaps once we figure out what it does, whoever finds it most useful can take possession of it.
Right, then I think we should get out of here before the whatever it is comes back.
Indeed.
And then I look and I see that all four of us are in here.
Volta's still outside.
Ghostbird. Good.
This is how you get snuck up on by Godzilla, you guys.
Would he be able to come in here, though?
Go ahead and make a perception check for Revolta.
Alright.
4. Ready then, so we're gonna see.
Dinosaur.
Okay. Okay. So as you guys are finishing up in here, and are you starting to head back outside?
Yep.
Okay. Devaney, as the group is starting to head back out, you get a brief flash from Avalta. And you see off in the distance, specifically slightly southeast from where the amphitheater is, Avalta catches something, and all you see is an image of a massive, brightly colored T-Rex charging to the north. It's there for a second or two, and then it disappears behind a couple of buildings.
So I don't know where I am in the group of people. Avalta just spotted what looks like a brightly colored T-Rex I think it was really quick flash, but we need to get out of here.
I kind of want to fight it.
Later, not right now.
Ah! My new helmet makes me feel invincible.
You don't even know what it does.
I know that I can headbutt a dinosaur much harder than normal, and that's enough for me.
Okay.
Please, Tuola, do not headbutt dinosaurs. Okay, maybe just not T-Rexes.
Makes note. Campaign goal: headbutt dinosaur to death.
Oh, when Devamon gives people ideas.
Oh dear.
So as our party starts making their way out of the amphitheater, that is where we'll actually take our brief 3 to 7 minute break tonight. I want to thank you those who've been hanging out this evening, and we will be back in just a few moments as we're going to run top off drinks, take care of what we need to, and then see where our party is going to head off to next in the city of Omu, as they have just found a very wonderful looking helm. And yeah, so we'll be soon. Mr. Producer, if you can bring us on over to break. Hey, and we're live. Welcome
Hey, let's
back,
keep
folks.
talking about how thick Bernice is.
Bernice is
Thanks,
thick,
Koala.
yeah.
Oh. So as Dwala gets instantly devoured by a sphere of annihilation and just vanishes from the world.
As Devaney catches the helm he was wearing.
Who's Koala?
Oh. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us as we topped off our drinks and whatnot. Took a couple of quick moments, and we are back as our party is starting to leave the amphitheater. As Devaney has just received an image of a rather peculiar looking T-Rex, brightly colored, that was just running along somewhere off to the southeast and vanished behind some buildings.
I would like to pick up in one in each arm 2 of the cooked up dinosaurs that we killed in this room and drag them out with us as we are running away.
Easy enough. These things aren't overly heavy after being severely charred. Okay, as you guys all start to gather back at the outside by the ruin stage in the massive pile of dinosaur dung, what's your next move?
So, we're just kind of bopping around, right? Like,
Well, I think we wanted to go south after this.
Did we want to check out the buildings to the north of here?
I thought we did already. I swear we got those
we can go like up here, right?
Yeah, so there
Well, I know
are
Passed by,
buildings
but
up to the north that you guys just sort of passed by.
Did they look
dealing with the
cool on
ones-
their way past them, or they dumb?
Make a roll a d20. Just a flat d20 roll. We'll let fate decide. You didn't seem overly impressed with them personally.
Yeah, those buildings looked boring. Let's go elsewhere. He says, fried dinosaur under each arm, helmet on his head.
right, like let's go south.
Like
Devaney just
south,
starts
like right
walking.
here?
Yep. towards those
Which
buildings.
way is the dinosaur coming from?
So best that Avalta said Avalta reported seeing some sort of shot of it somewhere over southeast.
Okay.
And it was heading north, I
Correct.
believe. Are you guys coming? Because I'm going this way.
Yes. I throw each of the dinosaurs onto the ruin stage in the center. Right in the middle, out in the open, and then follow out to the south, running away.
As you start to all head out, do me a favor, all of you go ahead and make a perception check again. Okay. So all four of you, including Solana, notices as you guys start to come back out, and one of the muddy footprints, again, you can see it's partially filled up with water. You can see that same sort of ripple that Devaney you saw a little earlier. As you watch, the ripple is currently emanating from the southern side of the footprint. As again, you start to hear off in the distance, somewhere into the east, that same sort of heavy footfall that you heard just a short while ago. And as you watch, as the footprint, the ripple starts to move a little bit, almost like it's, if you're looking at the pool of water, how it's following where it's being affected. As you watch the epicenter start to move a little bit towards the front of the foot, all of a sudden the footsteps cease for a second. And then 3 or 4 seconds later, you hear them start up again, and the ripple is now on the northern side of the footprint. You had seen it start to move, and then all of a sudden it's just on the other side of the foot. And then once more it starts to fade away off into the distance.
Either it jumped so far that it was an entirely different portion of the city when it landed, or it is a dinosaur that can teleport.
I wouldn't be surprised with either at this point.
Right.
Yes,
Let's go!
let us run.
And I would like to stealth as well, even though you can't run in stealth, I think.
Not effectively. So, go ahead and make a stealth check. Anyone who is trying to go stealthy.
Nah.
Would Solana's Pass Without Trace still be active?
Let's see here. Yeah, it's still within an hour. So, as you guys are continuing on your way south, anywhere in specific you're heading into as you're heading down this direction?
Devaney's ending.
Like it's ever taken point, go ahead and put your where you're heading into.
Would like to end up like on those buildings, like to the left of the buildings in those bushes.
Okay.
Here?
Easy enough for you to take a little bit of time and get up there. Again, as you're running up, you can see two appear to be single-story buildings as you're coming up from the north of them. On the one you're closest to, you can see the door knocked off the hinge, partially open into the ruin, but as far as you're running around, it's getting to be about like early afternoon, a little after lunchtime.
All right, then. Nothing special in this area, just ruined houses and things like that.
From where you're standing right now, nothing you can see. I mean, there's seems to be a clearing a little further down, but in the immediate vicinity where you are, there's nothing.
I'll look behind, see if everybody's coming along with me.
Oh yeah, Quinn's right beside you. And so is Solanta. Let's see what's in this clearing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we should go investigate.
Okay, so as you guys start to sort of circle down and turn into that clearing, you can see that there's a rather beaten up wooden wagon that's been turned over and is laying on a broken up portion of the dirt street. If you look at the ground around it, flower petals in various phases of rot and decomposition litter the ground surrounding it. You can see in its nest, in its wheel spokes, there seems to be a small bee's nest within the broken wheel. As you look a little closer, though, there's a freshly cut garland of jungle flowers currently hanging from the wagon tongue.
I investigate the flowers.
As you get a little closer to look at the flowers, this feels familiar to you, Quen. As you notice that the ground and areas seems to be a little more lush and alive than other parts of the city that you've been in. This puts you in mind of Chi-Chi.
Maybe there's chewinga around here. What's the plural of chewinga? Chewingas? chewing guy?
Chewing
I'm not
gum.
a scientist. Hmm. What is there anything in the cart?
Go ahead and make a investigation check.
Mediocre.
Okay, so as you start poking around and sort of lift and look underneath the actual cart itself, you see a round moss-covered stone disc lies half buried in the mud beneath the wagon. As you look at it, from the portion of it sticking out of the ground that you can see, concentric rings of inscriptions cover its surface.
Ooh.
Some of them appear to be written in common, and others etched in some strange cuneiform.
How big is it?
Looks to be a
Like the
somewhat
size of a dinner
decent
plate?
size, little larger than a dinner plate, probably like
Okay.
a serving platter almost.
Okay. I pull everybody over and I say, "Hey, look at this," and I go and like try and pull it out.
It's a little dug in there. It takes you a couple of moments to sort of work it out of the ground, but you manage to actually get it pulled out there. And as you're looking at it and showing it to the group, you see that in common it reads, Queen Nabaka proclaims that the free people of Omu fear nothing. Brave new gods protect us, as Ubtao did before but does no longer. Omu
New
will
gods.
rise again, and Napaka shall reclaim all that is hers by right of conquest.
Blasphemy.
As you pull this out, and actually I apologize, it actually gives the exact dimensions of it. It is much larger than a dinner plate. It is 3 feet in diameter,
Ooh.
and as you have worked it out, Quen, after pulling it out, you literally set it down almost immediately, as it weighs approximately 200 pounds.
Ooh. This is a big boy.
It is a hefty piece of stone that you've pulled up.
Wow. This stone must weigh more than me.
Probably two of you, Gwen.
Probably.
Blasphemy.
Who is this person, Twala?
I do not know, but they have turned their back on Ubtao. They are heretics. Should throw it back under the wagon and be done with it.
I'm surprised it fit under the wagon in the first place. Does this stone look like it's really, really old or recent?
All right, go ahead and make a, we'll call this an investigation or a history, whichever you prefer.
Well, I'm better at history, so I'll go with that.
Okay. So, as you're looking at this, it looks every bit as old as some of the marks you've seen at other buildings in the city.
Oh, this thing
It
has
has
been around a while.
It has some the phrase in common that you read, as well as other script written around it as well.
Do I recognize any of the other scripts being like from here?
No.
Okay.
This long predates Tuala and his tribe.
Okay.
Well, this stone isn't recent. It's been around a long time. I guess their gods didn't protect them. We're just gonna leave it here? We can't really take it with us.
So everything in it in common, we've read already. What about the other language that's on it?
It's not a language that any of you currently speak.
Okay.
It would require some other means to be able to read that language.
Okay. Well, I put it right back where I found it, and then I'll ask Solana to create like a flower, and like I'll put that there in addition as, compensation for the disturbance.
Okay. Easy enough for Solana to druidcraft a little flower there for it.
Okay, let's go.
So where is our party heading off to next?
Well, there's a bunch of bushes, you see between that building and this other building? Well, looks like a really big building back there, down south.
Is this the big building you're referring to?
No, more
west?
south.
One?
This really big building? Oh, this really big building.
Yeah, the one Quinn was pointing at.
Yeah, let's go there.
That one looks interesting.
Okay.
So, presuming we got to look at pretty much the full bird's eye view of the city from when we were up top on the cliff there. We more or less know the layout in that there's these two. It's almost like, just looking at the overview of the map here, it's almost like the city is broken up into quarters by these large streets. So it's like where we've been walking here, then one here, and then one over here, and then kind of this thing is the last bit. Do we want to then make a plan of how we're gonna because if we're just until we find something to give us direction, do we just head south all the way down till we run out of room, move over, head north on the other side of this thing? You know what I mean? Zigzag it so that we grid pattern hit everything in the city until we figure out what the heck we're doing.
That's a great idea.
I don't know where any of these keys are, so just basically searching to find something interesting. That's pretty much what I'm looking at doing.
Try and do it systematically so we don't miss anything.
Yeah, that way seems the best. So that way we could really see everything, and we won't have to, jump everywhere all the time.
Although further south, I remember there was that stairway, so the further south we get, the more activity I think there will be. So we just need to be careful as we get down there.
Agreed.
Hopefully we'll find some clues before then, but you never know.
We should at least go as far south as when we can turn on this high street and then go the other direction, north.
Well, we can. It's not that high. I can boost you up if you feel a little short, but
I always feel really short. Alright, so let's go. Yes.
So you guys heading down to that larger sort of complex a little ways south of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Quen is the one who mentioned this one. Quen, go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Yikes.
Okay. Hey, that is interesting. Let me jump over and see what that one means for us.
And as we're sort of going through the bushes, guys, also speaking of getting down south and being busier, it is getting a little later in the afternoon. It's past lunchtime at least. Maybe we should pick out a spot to sleep for the night, or at least retreat to sleep for the night, where it's a little less busy.
This location seems fairly central to what we've explored today. If everything checks out abandoned and relatively securable here, perhaps this can be our muster point for the evening.
Yeah, that would work.
Here. Okay, so as you guys start poking around in this ruined complex, just sort of exploring, you guys come across a small table in one of the rooms that you're walking through. And inside the room itself, and just let me see, where are we located here? Okay. Make sure we get the. Oh, actually, 10 is. I'm gonna remind myself what's where, so I'm giving you right. Okay, as you're looking at in this room, you find a small wooden statue that appears to be an Almirage.
Is this like the statue that I saw in the hallway?
It bears a very striking resemblance.
I examined the statue.
Solana, please let Quen, take a look at it before you try to keep it.
But Devide, I love Almirages.
You can have it back if it's okay, but I don't want you, getting poisoned or something like that.
Oh, I'm not worried about poison, but okay.
So, Quen, as you're looking at this this small sculpture, you notice it has that same sort of cuneiform writing on the front of it.
As the one I saw on the disc?
As the disc, yes.
Is this one holding anything, or?
Nope, it's just a small statue, and it has a couple of characters on the front. It's got a small wooden base, and then the figurine of the Almirage facing out towards you.
Okay.
And then at on that small wooden base is where you see the characters.
Okay. I take out a sheet of paper that I have, and I place it over the writing, and I draw over it with a pencil to get an
Okay.
imprint of it.
Yeah, just taking a rubbing of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So make sure you put in your inventory Almirage statue rubbing.
Okay.
Okay, what would the rest of you be doing as Quen is doing this on this statue?
Looking out to see if there's anything else interesting in this building. If we're going to be marking this as a sleeping area, going through, checking every room, make sure there's nothing dangerous in here.
Yes, the same.
And as you guys are looking around, there doesn't seem to be anything really out of place in there. A couple of small windows in some of the offset rooms. Excuse me. You do have the one front entranceway, which is just sort of a large open portal. And then on the back way that you guys came in from the north, there was one wooden door that was a little beaten up, but still somewhat intact.
Well, it looks all clear on my end.
Shall we continue down?
Yeah, I guess so.
Find nothing else of interest. This is a good place to return for the night.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Seems
see
spacious
if we
enough.
can find something interesting.
Okay, so as you are continuing on your way south, where is your path south taking you next?
Well, as we exit this building, we can sort of see two streets,
Oh, no.
right?
Uh-oh. I think we lost to Tuala.
I left. I'm still here, but I backed out of the game.
Tuala was summoned to another dimension by a strange fey creature. He'll be back shortly.
No, not again.
And now I'm the map.
I'm the map. I'm the map.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
Yeah, so as you come out, Devnate, you are correct. You basically got the stairway off to your left, and then you've got two paths leading in front of you further south.
Well, Devaney's going to point out the path closest to the cliff walls. I would like to go down that street. Any thoughts?
Let's do it.
Good a street as any other.
'Tis a fine street. Is it paved? Are there stones on it?
No, it seems to be just sort of a somewhat, well, it's starting to get overgrown, but at one point you think it was a fairly well-traveled dirt road. But now, given that the city not quite abandoned, is not in use as much as it was, so.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys continue on south of that street, again, as you're sort of glancing at different buildings, you see buildings in different states of disrepair and little tears, vines, and things growing on the outsides of them. So you continue to travel south over the next 5 or 10 minutes, again, taking it slow, trying to keep stealth and keep quiet. You eventually get down just to the southern section down here. And as you start peering around the corner, you see amidst the ruined buildings, you see what appears to be an abandoned campsite. In the distance from where you are, you can see torn backpacks and rotting gear littered across the ground around 3 moldy, torn tents. At the center of the camp, a scrap of dirty yellow cloth hangs from a very crude wooden flagpole. The little
that's
cloth
unfortunate.
barely moving in the slight overbearing humidity of the jungle.
How long abandoned does this look?
Moldy tents.
Definitely, it's been sitting for a while. The tents are moldy. Things are torn up. Doesn't look like anyone's been here
I'll go over
few
there
days, at least.
Kick through some tents and stuff and see if there's anything interesting in here.
Okay. So go ahead and make an investigation check as you're sort of rummaging around and looking through stuff.
Okay.
Devaney is going to stay away from the campsite and just hang around the corner of the building, just in case.
Okay. So as far as going through and okay. Well, as Tuala is kicking around, as you kick in one of the tents, Tuala, you find what appears to be a very moldy, rolled up piece of parchment that you now have access to in your journal.
Okay.
Ooh.
Parchment.
So as you pull this out, it's printed in common. Actually, what I will do here is... I think I just showed that to just Tuala. So... what I'm going to do is... also share this with me. Oh. Me already pulled it up. Can everybody see that or no?
I'm gonna read it, so if they can't, they can listen. Because I was absolutely just gonna throw it back in the tent, but I'm super not. Tuala comes back to the party holding this out, and he says, "I found this in one of the tents. This may be the exact clue that we were looking for." And it reads, it's a letter addressed to one Rue. It says, "Devlin is the lead on the Eye of Zaltek." Does this mean anything to any of you, Eye of Zaltek?
I don't think so. It sounds familiar, but maybe one of the stories I read somewhere, but I can't place it off the top of my head.
In any event, listen on. The old goat found an obelisk in the north that marks the entrance to the tomb of the 9 gods. No doubt the very tomb that we have already come across. It continues, the eye must be within, but the door is magically locked. We think the secret to opening it lies in the holy shrines. We are headed into the ruins to check them out. God's willing, we will be back tonight. Rosna-Sai's serpent people are on the prowl, so be careful. If you get into trouble, sound the swan horn twice and we'll come running. For the yellow banner, signed Lord Brixton. This Lord Brixton of the Yellow Banner, he and however many men he has with him, they are on the hunt, the same as we are, to gain entrance to the tomb.
Well, if they're left alive.
If they are left alive. At the very least, this is more information than we had a moment ago. These pieces of information, the holy shrines, what are they?
Well, maybe these have something to do with the animals that we saw in the cave, right? So those go with the door to get into the shrine.
This is maybe a question I should have asked earlier. So Tomb of the 9 Gods, there's like 9... Was it nine symbols? How many symbols and statues are in the door?
There were 8 statues.
There were 8.
8 statues and 8 holes cut into the door.
Okay, maybe not. I was gonna ask if the gods, if the various gods are like associated specifically with, like each with like an animal as their like symbol.
Possible.
Is that a religion-y?
Maybe
Is that a religion check?
way back when each of those animals was a god. That's why they're referring to them as like shrines.
9.
But yeah, there's one missing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's where by the time your tribe was really established in the area, most of the lore of Omu had long since been lost.
Okay.
It's It's from what you guys have explored so far. Now, as you said, it's the best lead you've got at the moment. Apparently there are shrines out there, and they refer to this as the Tomb of the Nine Gods.
Well, perhaps Tuala and Clem. That stone we found back there, it mentioned new gods. Maybe a connection?
Perhaps.
But new gods as opposed to Omu? Like newer than Omu? Or Uptau. Sorry, Uptau.
Uptau.
Uptau the god.
Well, they didn't. I don't remember what the tablet said, but didn't it say Uptau abandoned them and then they found new gods?
Mm-hmm.
More likely they abandoned Uptau, but
Well,
yes, the
I don't
connection.
know.
The
I'm not that
is
old.
there. So
Yeah, the
Uptau is
8
good
and
and he
9
watches
thing
over
doesn't
the
match
land.
up. But
I think
Maybe.
at least this gives us something to keep our eyes open for as we search the city. Shrines of some nature.
we're finding out more about these 9 gods and what they were exactly.
Indeed. And any of these Yellow Banner, whoever they are, they're Lord Brixton, if we
Could I
encounter
make
them.
a history check to see if I know anything about the Yellow Banner? I can't hear you.
Dopey had myself muted again. Sure, go ahead and make a roll, and then I didn't see the roll. Or, just ignore me. Because that's cool too. Yeah, it's not ringing a bell off the top of your head.
I used all my high history checks against already.
Okay, so you guys are currently standing in this abandoned camp. Anything else you'd be doing?
I found nothing else of interest in the camp.
Great, then let's just keep on moving south, I guess.
I guess if we've been taking this in chunks, we want to go to next, or do we want to go as far south as this opening here?
Yeah, I would go to the next big stairway.
Keeping an eye out for anything that looks temple-y specific. Or shrine? What was it? I already forgot. I read the note 3 seconds
Or
ago.
anything that has to do with animals.
So,
Shrines.
as you are starting to head closer, you get through that clearing and sort of start turning out towards that next little wide open section. Okay. You see a couple of things that jump out at you. The first one is following along the base of the cliff to the south. You see a strange square building in front of a rectangular pool of murky water. And then just to the east of it, you see a rather large walled compound, smoke drifting lazily from within it. You don't see any sort of an entrance on this side of it.
Where's the walled compound? Sorry.
So it's literally due south of where you are.
Oh, okay.
Now. And you can see smoke drifting out of it, and then occasionally you hear a little bit of noise from within. You're definitely getting some signs of life from within that walled compound. And then following along the cliff base, you see a sort of square building chucked in the middle of a small rectangular walled yard in front of a pool of murky water.
Fun.
It looks like we found some people living people?
Possibly. Shall I move closer and try to get a better look?
Either that or you take note and start heading up, across the street and head up back north until we get to where we want to sleep for the night.
After word or after our discovery of this note, I pat where I have it tucked into my belt. I am hesitant to leave any stone unturned, specifically one. I point towards the smoke. Signs of life are not necessarily the Auntie.
I know it could be some of those kobolds, but
It is
I am
possible.
still hesitant to make our presence known at this point.
I'm not suggesting we expose our position, but we still need to know what is in there. If it is nothing worth investigating, we move on. We could perhaps send a ghost bird, or if you're uncomfortable with drawing attention from the air, one of us could move forward. I know both the plant elf and myself are able to make ourselves relatively unseen if needed.
And I believe you can make yourself invisible, right, Quen?
Oh yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, I'm not very stealthy myself, but yeah, I can definitely send a Volta over to scout over those walls.
However we choose to proceed is acceptable. But I think it important to see what is within these structures before turning away towards another part of the city.
Alright, so then I will send a Volta over the walls before any of you try to sneak in, which is exactly what I'd like to do.
Okay, which one is of all going over? The smaller walled compound to the west, or the larger one with the smoke coming out of it to the east?
I would like to send them over the smaller one first, and then fly over the larger one.
Okay.
Not extremely close as like a drone would, but high enough that it's likely that a normal bird would do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I'll
go
sit
ahead.
down on the ground and I'll see through his eyes as he does it.
Okay, so go ahead and make a perception check.
Through me or through a Volta?
Through a Volta, as you're watching through a Volta's eyes.
Ooh.
Okay. So as you're flying over, starting with the smaller building to the west, again, what you see is a lot of, as you mentioned before, the rectangular pool of murky water stretching before this vine-draped building. Rope bridges that once span the water float on the surface, tangled with debris. The shards of a toppled monolith form the stepping stones to the middle of the pool, where a statue of a stone frog rises above the water. As Avalta sails past that and over the larger walled compound, you notice in the looks to be roughly in the middle of this compound, you see what appears to be some sort of wooden pole driven into the ground amidst the remnants of what looks to be a bonfire of some sort. There seem to be white items sitting amidst the charred logs. Beyond that, it's hard to see more from that height as the sun is slowly starting to creep down in the west. Still have a little bit of sight, but without getting closer, given the smoke coming up and everything else, the Volta doesn't see much more in the larger walled complex.
No moving figures or anything like that.
Not that they can really see from that distance.
All right, so I'll just tell Volta to come back around,
Easy enough. Evalto
and I'll
hops back
snap out
around
of
and starts.
my not being able to see anything out of my own eyes, and stand up. Well, a couple interesting things. Do believe there are definitely some sort of creature in the big complex. I've saw like a fireplace with what I can imagine some sort of maybe bones, shiny white things in it. I didn't see any people, or creatures. And then the smaller one over there, there used to be it got wrecked and it's old, but there was a statue of a frog creature. And I think that wasn't there a statue of a frog in the hallway that we saw?
Yes, there was.
So that might take more investigation.
So I guess the question remains is if we're going to investigate that compound or if we're going to the shrine looking thing.
Well, it is getting a little late. Maybe we should try in the morning.
Oh, I thought it was still like lunchtime.
No, you guys have been exploring and traveling for a couple of hours.
Okay. Yeah.
By the time we get back up and settle into the place that we picked out,
Right. Okay.
I mean, we're
So
not really in any huge rush. We took our time getting here.
mhm.
We are in a hostile city. I am inclined to spend as little additional time here as necessary. And if the tomb, if this, not tomb, if this frog shrine presents itself as a defensible location, there is no reason we cannot spend the night there. If it does not, we will have ample time to return to our chosen destination. But
Well, I didn't see any people, but I don't like the idea of camping so close to the other area. Well, it looks like they liked burning people.
how long do we have to? We have a. You said the sun was just starting to set, right? Like we've got a couple of hours until dark, right?
Yeah.
Well, you still can't see in the dark, can you?
He's got his nutsack. He can just shake it.
Yes.
Oh my
I have the nutsack.
God.
Probably a bad idea to be a beacon of light in the dark city.
Y'all better
Well,
stop.
let's go investigate, but if we think it's dangerous, then retreat.
Fair enough.
Okay.
As if
so
anything in
let's
this city
see.
were not dangerous.
Well, relative danger.
I give the
The weird T-Rex.
I give the Aluahate finger to the city in general.
Okay, I would like to try to stealth.
I will stealth this time as well.
Okay, so let's see here.
Woo! I like that.
Alright. And Devaney is in another dimension currently.
Holy. Okay, so bear with me a second as we are. Let me. Should have done this the smart way. Okay. Well, where did my little people go? Okay. copy and goddamn giant gorilla.
What? There's a giant gorilla over there? I don't want to go near giant gorilla.
That's even worse than a T-Rex.
I'm assuming that Sarah left us a gift on this page.
Even when she's not here, she's turning into giant gorillas.
You know.
Just like
Okay, so
little
Mr.
bitty
Producer, if you are here with us, follow the bouncing flag 1 page to your right, please. As we will find our party, or rather, our party will find our party there because nobody else has seen them with those rolls. Well, at least some of them. Okay, so we are giving Mr. Producer a moment. Oh, there he goes. I'm going to wait for them to pop back up here. Okay. Kapow! Shift blip, whatever the word is. Okay. We are here. And can you guys all see?
Yep.
Okay, so you are coming as, don't know what your marching order is here, but you guys are over here, coming down again, trying to avoid that spot, as you're saying, you're trying to stay sort of out of the way of people. Coming down around the outside of this torn and broken wall.
Well, Devaney is gonna start moving as stealthily as she can, which is pretty stealthy, towards an entrance in the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, how thick are these little crack dealies? Like,
So that one that you just moved Solana over to is only about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet wide. That one that you're next to is a little bit wider. You can probably squeeze through there. Devaney, as you are looking over around this, and you can see this sort of murky water and the couple of bridges that, well, the one bridge that's still in most of the piece, and then the strange sort of structure in the middle of it. Again, you see that same sort of almost frog-like statue in the middle of it. What is the party doing?
Can I fit right where I am?
Oh yeah,
and square
that's
the edge between the edge of the pool and the wall?
Yep.
Is there room for me there?
Oh yeah, that's easily like 4.5, 5 feet. You're up against the wall. It's not overly spacious, but you can definitely fit.
Okay, I'm gonna continue to move.
I will do my best to match Guardian's pace on the other side of the
Okay. So as you two are moving in again, you can see that that same. Well, now you're looking at the back of the statue, and looking up at the. You see 2 massive iron gates in front of you, with that same sort of cuneiform lettering carved above it.
does it by any wait, I'm not over there.
Divinate looks at it. You really need to figure out how to read this stuff.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So I walk over to where Tuala and them are. Does it look like the imprint that I have from earlier?
No, it does not match the imprint.
Okay. Does it match
can
any
see-
like letters, so to speak, on it, or?
You would ask that, wouldn't you?
I would. I'm sorry. I'm
Give me
like
a
over
second,
here
I gotta
trying to
see
play
what you.
Jeopardy.
Yes, you recognize the last character
Okay.
that. Or actually, hold on. Give me a second. I gotta. Where is it?
Wait, what was your
The
question?
the last character in the first word matches the last character on your rubbing.
Okay.
Basically, Quinn is looking at like a cipher and saying, "Do any of these characters match?" And
What was your rubbing of?
So we came across a statue of an Almirage that had this, I guess, Omuan text on it. And I took a rubbing of it, and I'm seeing if any of the letters here, see Tuala, if any of these match any of those up there. Like a puzzle.
The tablet under the cart.
No, we didn't take a rubbing of the tablet under the cart.
We should have.
It was a
For
big
what?
thing. It would have took hours.
The tablet under the cart had a phrase in common and more phrases in Oldham. It is the similar principle to what you are trying to do here. It could have helped us as a cipher. We left it
we have
behind.
to go.
We should go back for it later.
Well, we had
Yeah,
to.
you're
There's
right.
no way for us to carry it.
No, we take a rubbing
Take
of
a
it.
rubbing.
Or write down the words.
And we found the friggin' Rosetta Stone and we left it there.
Yep.
I didn't figure it out till now because he pulled the other stupid one out.
Well, are we gonna go in, or are we just gonna?
Did we
Yeah.
try this door to see if it's open?
Not yet.
Okay.
Does this have handles on it?
I
as
think
you
he's muted, but he
reach up
was
and-
doing this, so I think it...
yeah, as you try to open, they appear to be locked.
Does anybody know how to open locked doors around here? It's not a skill, Devanese. Guys,
go,
it's locked. What do
well,
we
I go,
do?
Okay. You're gonna
Uh,
try to.
I'm not gonna do anything until we discuss it. I can attempt to bash it down, but perhaps a quieter, more subtle approach first.
I have a question about this weird face there in the middle of the water. So, is that face like facing towards the door, me, or is it facing upwards towards the sky?
It's actually neither. It's a sculpture that looks to be like that strange amphibian frog-like image from the little hallway you guys saw near the Black Obelisk.
Oh,
But its back is to you. You have not seen its face. You would have to circle around to the other side of the pool to see its face.
So, like
okay.
you mean the drum statue or the other amphibian with all the tentacles?
Yeah.
Sid, what?
Is it the grung statue?
Yeah.
No,
Is
it's
it
not the
Grung or
Grum.
the other one that we don't recognize from before?
It's the other amphibious statue that you don't recognize.
Okay.
So this door is locked, though, right?
Correct, yes.
Is there is it like it has big handles? Is there like a
As,
keyhole, or is there like
as you're looking at it, there are handles on it, and there is a rather large keyhole center.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast levitate on myself. And how far down is this pit here?
So looking at the actual pool itself, as you're looking into it, the water is about 5 or 6 feet deep between the top of it and where the top of the water is. As you're looking at it, it is thick and clouded with mud and algae. You've got no idea how deep the actual pool itself is. But it's about 6 feet down to the surface of the water, and where these these bridges are that you can see here and here.
Okay. So I want to levitate over the pit and go to like towards that statue. Am I able to maintain like altitude over that like drop?
Well, levitate, yes, but you don't have a way to move.
I could kick off the side of this wall there.
Right, so you can push off and it'll get you a little bit of distance. But once you're out to a certain point, if you don't have something to, like if you can't reach and pull yourself on the statue, you're just floating in midair.
Yeah, that's what I want to
Glenn,
do. I want
The
to.
Are you-
barbarian has an idea.
Gwen, you could just tie a rope around you if you want to go out there.
We can tie a rope around you and then we can throw you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tuala, throw me! Throw me, Tuala, throw me!
We
I
can
love
throw
these
her
drones.
throw them together.
Okay, we will
Make
tie
it
a
really
rope
far.
around Quinn, and then Guardian and I will 1, 2, and throw him as far as we can out of. Well, he levitates.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check with advantage.
Oh. That'd be good.
You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
What's your modifier?
7.
You do it. It's a little better than mine.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna roll well, but
Well,
You
if
got
somebody's
advantage.
gonna roll a 1, who do you think it's gonna be? Hey, 20.
So,
that's not
as
too bad.
now, Quinn, are you casting levitate in advance, or are you waiting until
Yeah.
you start to arc through?
I'm casting levitate in advance.
Okay.
Oh, we just got into a physics equation of how does levitate affect Newton's laws of gravity? Like, does he just keep going forever? He just breaks the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
And
And
There he
make sure
goes.
we have the rope tied around his waist.
so,
We can pull him back in.
and Devaney, where are you aiming this throw as you and Twal are doing this together? Are you trying to go
to
like
one
right
side of
over
the statue?
Oh, okay. So as you haul off, and the two of you just grab hold of Quen and just.
It was like on one. It's like 1, 2, and then like right as we go to be like 3, I look at Devin and I go, "Why are we like this?" And I just throw him.
And Lennon, you end up floating yourself as a result of their toss and ending up right out here. About the
No,
right height, just a little past where you were hoping to be.
No, I want to grab onto the statue while I go
So
past
Devine
it.
will take this
Oh.
rope and
Well,
start.
go ahead
reeling
and
him
make a
backwards.
strength check, Quen. See if you can grab hold in. Mind you, as you're trying to grab this, you also see them trying to pull on the rope. Yeah, you would have gone right past as you were trying to grab and starting to slip, as Devaney and Twala managed to grab hold and sort of keep you at that point.
kind
I'm
of like
like,
a
you
balloon.
missed! You missed! It was right in front of you!
Be more aerodynamic.
I'm flailing around.
Okay, so you're now starting to look at this.
Yes, I'm looking at it now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, Quen, as you're looking into this thing. Okay. So as you are floating in front of this, and actually, go ahead, Devaney and Twala, make a perception check as well for me as Quen is doing this.
I make a real big like a real big show of perceiving before I actually perceive.
Okay. Let's see here. So
Is it a crit on a miss roll?
no, we'll let it in because your modifier is the same. It's a +4 to both.
Oh, I see through time and space.
So actually, you are noticing this right as everything happens. So Quen, as you are starting to look into the front of this this statue, you can see right embedded in the mouth of this statue, there seems to be a stone key embedded in some sort of an indentation on the creature's tongue.
Oh, I think we got something here.
As that is happening, Tuala, you notice, and Devaney, you as well, ripples starting to balloon out from the water underneath, just off to the side.
Oh, Jaws is in here. All right.
Is this
We've made a
ripples
mistake.
like?
We've made an error.
Is this ripples like the T-Rex ripples, or
No,
something
this
in
is
the water
something
ripples?
breaching the water.
Quinn.
As Quen is floating there and reaching in to this item that is currently embedded in the tongue. We are gonna roll this, and
As soon as I see the ripples, and you can dictate on what order of all these things happen. As soon as Tuala sees like the ripples, and like Quen like hovering above them, he's gonna let go of his end of the rope, and he's gonna jump as far out as he can from the surface into the water towards whatever this is.
And I'm going to
Glaive
pull on
coming
the
out
rope.
as he does so, like.
Assuming both of us have a hand on the rope, Devaney is going to pull on the rope as hard as she can, so Quinn is not out in the middle.
Oh, what's the rules for long jump?
Oh.
Hang on.
long jump, if you taking the couple of steps forward that you would be able to, it is
Okay.
your strength.
Okay.
So not your modifier, your literal strength.
Oh, so I can jump like 18 feet, something like that. Or is
Well,
it-
Okay.
I
So,
think
well,
it's
first
like
things
10
first.
feet plus your strength, isn't
Well,
it?
no, you have to take a 10-foot,
17.
running start, and then you
Mhm.
can jump your strength score, not your modifier, the actual
Okay.
strength number. Now, okay. So with this, would a 23 hit you, Quen?
Yeah.
Okay, so as Tuala is jumping forward, as he starts to see the ripples coming out, and actually, I'm going to shift you a little bit, Tuala, only because where you'd see the ripples coming from is over on this side, reaching out up towards Quen.
Oh, okay.
And Quen, you are, let's see, you are medium. So as Tuala is jumping out,
I can jump to
Glaive
like
coming
here.
down, go ahead. Well, you're within your 10 feet range. Go ahead and make your attack roll as you watch Quen vanish
Like down?
inside
Oh no! What?
the stomach of this massive creature.
Ah!
I'm always getting eaten. Stop trying to eat me.
Jumping so delicious.
And as Tuala makes his attack roll real quick, I'm going to roll this. Okay. And let me see here. That is actually good enough to hit.
Oh, thank God it's got a low
Go-
AC.
Go ahead and.
Oh, come on! Crap.
Okay. So, Quen, you take 16 points of piercing damage. And
No,
6
Aaron,
points of
no.
acid damage as you are now swallowed by this creature.
Fight your way from out from within, whimsical one.
And that is where we're going to call an end to this week's
Ah! No!
No, I'm bad.
session. With a massive creature jumping out of the swampy water and swallowing Quen.
Oh,
As
so it jumped
Tuala
out
is
and
now-
swallowed me?
Yeah, it's literally it was under as you came over there. It popped up and just bang.
Ah,
And as it's
My-
falling down, Tuala's coming down with this as well. Now,
It's like that. It's like that big dinosaur from the new Jurassic Park, or
Yeah.
Jurassic World, whatever. It was like, oh no!
So this is where we will be picking up next week as we
Oh
start.
dear.
As we start with the party in initiative, hopefully with the return of Solana.
Oh
Isn't
boy.
that the best way to start a D&D game?
Somebody with
know.
mage hand when you need it. We're just like throwing our wizards at the at the stuff we need to get.
I'm like
It's
sort of a
bad.
wizard.
And Devine is sort of a wizard too, but not really.
You're like a strength sort of wizard, and I'm like a dex sort of wizard.
So y'all were all concerned about a giant colorful T-Rex? Nope. We got a froghemoth for you instead.
Oh gosh. I should never have skipped science class.
So thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out. It's wonderful to see you here. I know you had weren't able to catch it earlier, but glad you were here for the ending. Make sure you're here next week, though, as our party is got to work to pull Quen from inside the gullet of a froghemoth.
As we get rescued again.
Or explode your way out of its innards.
As it turns out, my helmet
We're going
happens to
to-
be a helmet of froghemoth slaying.
Oh.
Luckily enough.
So we're gonna stick you with that little thing here and just sort of stick you right over next to him.
No.
Oops, I don't know why I rolled bite yet again. I didn't want to roll that at first, and wow, that's a really good thing I didn't roll that. That would have been a hell of a lot worse. So with that, thank you again, everyone. Before we disappear for the night, it comes time to decide who gets the nat 20 for next week.
Quen. He needs it.
Yeah, for that reason alone.
Okay. The party seems to have decided that Quen needs the nat 20 in order to survive.
Or at least hopefully it will come in handy.
Hopefully.
So, Quen, mark down. Don't forget you have the nat 20 for next week as we pick up your same Froghemoth time, same Froghemoth channel. Don't forget, folks, we have Hell or High Water Deep on Wednesday night as DMJJ takes our players through the Mad Mage and the Waterdeep Heist campaign. We have Delve and Dash Thursdays leading up to Mystic Hour also on Thursday. Then Strong King's Thunder on Friday. And I believe, assuming that our beloved Ashlyn on Friday night and Solana tonight can get these throat leeches cured, that she is supposed to be kicking off the Sunday night Curse of Strahd campaign on Sunday.
That's right.
So I have heard it's the 18th. We have not heard differently, so I'm going to hold true and say, Sarah, get your ass cured of them throat leeches so we can get you back here again, and we can get you on Sunday nights, because I am definitely looking forward to seeing Sarah's iteration of Strahd.
It's going to be an interesting party, that's for sure.
We haven't had a chance to meet the party as of yet, even for us here at Proficiency Bonus. We've met some of the players, but we don't know their characters. They are being very hush-hush about this. So we're all going to be excited and watching right along with you guys on Sunday. So with that, we are all good for tonight. And never forget, as you're preparing to tag team fastball special your wizard out over a murky pool without checking to see if there's anything in it first, don't forget to keep a firm grasp on the rope instead of jumping out after the creature. And don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
I'm gonna headbutt that frog.
Good night.
And Mr. Producer, if you can bring us on home.